Just missed that.
Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much, Andy Hart from Cat Country Radio here in Indiana County. Welcome, Steeler Nation, to another episode, Steelers Realm Podcast. I'm joined with my weekly partner in crime, Steelers crime, that is my man, the famous TA. What's up, brother?
Man, JT, I am looking for a nap. This has been a whirlwind of like the last month and a half, 2 months. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere. You know, I just, and there's just so much going on, JT. So much going on.
So much going on, and so much leading up to it, too, which was, I was so glad to get there and then to pull off what we pulled off. You know, this is really the first chance. We've had a chance to talk with you guys, our faithful listeners, about our picks. So we're excited to, touch on them all tonight. And other news, we've got a great show lined up for us. Thanks to our fantastic writers on the Steelers Realm. So yeah, Steelers news, breaking into the draft picks, and then also the unrestricted or undrafted free agents, rather, that we've signed too. So excited to get into that
this time here, buddy. That you can mean anything. That could be undefined.
Could be. Well, I haven't checked for a little bit, but let's kick it off with Steelers news. Obviously, we heard this afternoon Steelers declined the 50-year option for Najee Harris. And so what are your thoughts on that, TA? Do you think something else is coming otherwise?
You know what? I really hope so, JT. I mean, they come out and said, well, we want to see how he's going to go ahead and work underneath Arthur Smith's running offense. I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? What more do you need to see from this guy? I mean, he just ran underneath the worst offensive coordinator in NFL history. And now you want to see how he's going to do underneath Arthur Smith's offense, who, oh, by the way, the reason he got a head coaching job is because he made Derrick Henry look like O.J. Simpson or Jimmy Brown, or, I mean, you pick a running back, and we're worried about Najee. I have to call BS here, JT.
Yeah, that really is BS. I couldn't think of a better scenario for him to take over and, ground and pound, man. So what perfect tandem. I mean, I think, they're one of the top, 5-10 running back tandems in the league. Would you put them up there?
Jalen and him, easily top 5. And could potentially be number 1 in this offense. What I'm wondering about, JT, is did last year his campaigning to bring running backs back to being relevant, did it hurt him? Did it scare the Steelers? Or are the Steelers having open transparency conversations? And I even said it last year. Look, the Steelers are going to sign him, and they're probably going to revalue the way the league looks at the NFL at running backs. However, it's probably not going to be what Najee's looking for. And folks, we call that dead space.
Yeah, no,
I must have took the words right out of JT's mouth.
No, sorry about that. I mean, you're exactly right. I had that conversation earlier at Street Ace Hardware in Indiana today. A little plug there, Matt. Um, yeah, we were talking about that just as well. Like, he was very vocal. What was it, last year? In the off season about running backs not getting paid, and he was on somebody else's side. They got disappointed in what they were offered, and that whole running backs are undervalued chat that was. You figure this might not be an easy one, but I have a feeling that they already have something in the works that's going to be more, maybe another 3-year deal that's a little more cap friendly, but yet keeps him satisfied. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think you're gonna be right. I mean, let's face it. This year he's gonna earn 2.4 million instead of the 6 million if they would have took his 5th year option. Now, the only one who did get a 5th year option who was in the same running back class was Travis Etienne. It's Etienne. You guys all know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Go ahead and screw up a name in a heartbeat. My point is that I really feel that we were looking at all this cap space money that they freed up to bring in a wide receiver. Maybe there's some truth to that, but I also think too that the Steelers are smart enough to know that not only did they have one, but they just went ahead and picked up a trade for a second 5th round option in Justin Fields. They knew they had to make money somewhere, and they just didn't pick up Justin Fields for this year. I really think that they think that this kid has a chance to be their heir apparent.
Yeah.
However,
Oh, I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree. As I think we're going to be in the same situation. So, yeah, we might see two of those. I don't know.
because the question is it's think about this, because they declined his as well, and he was looking at being made $25 million. Instead, we only have to pay him 1.6. So
Yeah.
you look at Jacksonville right now. Jacksonville picked up 2 5th-year options in Trevor Lawrence and in Itanini Travis. We'll leave it at that. In the excess of $31 million for 1 year. They couldn't afford to do that with both of them. But I
No.
do look for them to spread it out and give them both at least a 3 to potentially 5-year contract that might be incentive heavy laden. How's that for trying to be proper today, JT?
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. So I'm sure there's certain options there, and I'm not so sure. The big news still, yeah, broke. Forget what was it? A former Steeler defensive back broke some news. I can't remember the name of it, but saying that, hey, player of significant performance or whatever the word was in the works from the Steelers. So, but I also saw comments out there that 49ers turned them down and they were shopping. They were talking to Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, with the amount of wide receivers that have been attached to us. And like I said, I felt from the beginning that all of it is it's just fodder. It's just we need something to talk about, and we're going to bring it up to the Steelers. And first of all, I don't think the Steelers were anywhere close to being in the ballpark for Ayuk, none whatsoever.
Yeah, probably
Now,
not.
now Sutton for Denver, out of all of the ones that they mentioned, okay, I could see Sutton. The question is did they get him at a good price? That didn't happen either because Denver picked up Bo Nix. But do I feel that there's another significant playmaker? That's what they said. A significant playmaker will be
Right.
announced.
Right.
Now, did you see underneath there in the interwebs that significant playmaker could be none other than Pat Pete?
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of names thrown around out there. I think even Cordell
Oh,
slash
Slash is coming back?
slash is coming back.
Wait a second. I thought that was going to be Justin Fields this year returning kickoffs.
Oh yeah, there you go. Nice segue into the next segment too. Yeah, what is up with that? Are you serious?
I mean,
Whoever broke this story, like, are you serious? Are you going to do that?
JT, I just cannot believe how they're just throwing the Steelers around like we're like a political puppet right now. Everybody can write a story about us. I'm a little tired of it, to be honest with you. I almost feel like I'm watching Trump and Biden here, and we're the geriatrics team. Which, by the way, we'll have to talk a little bit about that when we get to the draft. But at the end of the day, I mean, why us? I mean, why can't we just go about being our business right now?
Well, you either love them or you hate them.
Yeah,
So, who was the guy who was drafted from the Ravens that went out? They came on there, or the guy that was hosting the draft pick for the Ravens? Did you catch that?
no,
He
I
brought
might
his
have been.
kids out, all like three kids out with him, and he says, like, "What do we say to Steeler fans out there?" And they're like, "Steelers suck." Like,
Oh, I did see the YouTube
before he
video on
presented
that.
their pick. Like, what the hell? That was really tacky.
It was a little tacky, especially for a family-oriented show. I'm surprised that they allowed him to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Hey,
no,
want to got some shout outs here. Hold that thought. Larry, what's up, buddy? You made it in there. Also, shout out Jeremiah. Shout out to you too, brother. We are going to be good, man. Looking forward to it. Larry, Jeremiah. Yep, we're missing one tonight. The freight train couldn't make it out traveling. So, anyhow, safe travels home, buddy.
he's trying to box his windows.
Hey, DJ in the house too. What's up, brother? So, yeah, man, we were just kicking around some stuff before you guys jumped on here, or before we got to your comments. Um, yeah, we were talking the 50-year options, and then, we really didn't dig into Fields too much, but I mean, I I have to agree with you, TA. I think they got stuff in the works I think they got long-term plans for Fields, just to kind of sum up our last couple minutes. And also we're going to do something with Najee in a longer term. I could see a 4-year deal.
Absolutely. Because let's face it, you don't pick up Justin and have no plan. And you just didn't
Right.
come out of this year's draft thinking that Jalen was going to be your number one running back without picking up somebody else.
Yeah, right.
And quite honestly, I know that we clamored on and on about how good Jalen is, and Jalen should be the starter, and he's the spark plug. But you got to remember, he's just that. You get Najee, who's that big body. You get it's a sleight of hand. Like watch this hand because this is the hand that's getting you, JT.
Yeah, yeah. Fake with the right and come with the left hook.
Right. And that's what you have Najee and Jalen because Najee standing at 6'2, everybody can see him coming from a mile away. You start training your eye for the big guy coming through the hole, it's easy to go ahead and hone in on him. But then you give it to Jalen, it's like, where'd he go? It's like Houdini. He disappeared. Next thing you know, he's running down the field for 20 yards. Now, if you switch that, it makes it a whole lot easier for the defense to go ahead and concentrate on the little guy, and then hell, knocking down the big guy. Shit, that's like taking candy from a baby.
Yeah. Right.
So I think that it works hand in hand, JT, and I really like where they went to not only in this year's draft, but I think what we're about to see with some extensions or some contract renegotiations.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're still a long way off. What's the deadline that the Steelers set? The beginning of the
Well,
regular season or the end of training camp, right?
yes. Now the deadline from the franchise was today at 4:00.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
That's why the news is breaking because 4:00's come and gone.
Done deal.
Done
I don't think
deal.
there were any big surprises out there. There were a few franchise tags set, but nothing surprising, was there?
No, I think the biggest thing that is surprising to me is, do you know who the last person we franchise tagged was? And the only person?
Oh, it was yeah, Le'Veon Bell.
No,
No.
he wouldn't have been part of that because the 5th year didn't come
That's
into
right,
play
because
until
he never did.
2000.
Yeah,
Right.
you're right.
It didn't come into play until 2011. How about another guy? I'll give you a hint. He's
Okay,
got
just a small one.
He's got a 0 in his number. And I'm pretty sure his shoe is larger than a size 9.
All right, you just gave it to me.
But it's funny that TJ Watt's really the only one who we ever exercised that on.
I don't recall that. Why do I not remember that? Hey, DJ got it. Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I was thinking back like a linebacker, back in the early 2000s, somewhere in there. When did you say it started? Franchise tag?
It would have been in 2011, where not the franchise tag, well, the 5th year option came into play. So it's not the franchise tag, it's the 5th year option. Because remember, your first round draft picks, they get signed for 4 years at the league prorated rate of whatever they decide or deem is the value to that position.
Okay.
And then if they want them to come back for their 5th year, they have to sign them to that option. If not, they end up just like Patrick McQueen did. Let's face it, we were benefactors this year of the Ravens not signing Patrick McQueen.
Mm-hmm.
They took a chance, gambled on him going to free agency, figuring, hey, he's going to be back to us. No problem, man.
And
he bleeds purple and black.
Not anymore.
Nope. That's black and gold, baby.
That's right. He had intravenous transfer.
Correct.
Out with the purple, in with the gold, baby.
Yep.
Nice.
So
nice.
when you think about it, are you ready? And this is almost sad. Now that you sit here and you put this in perspective. So you had Jarvis Jones, Artie Burns, Terrell Edmonds, Devin Bush, and of course, Najee Harris. None of them we signed to their 5th year option.
That's an interesting list.
It is an interesting list. So, yeah, we'll have to. There's more to come, Steeler Nation. Stay tuned.
No doubt. We didn't dive into it yet. But hey, Chris, thanks for tuning in. How you guys doing out there? Appreciate it, man. Yeah, so what says I see in the notes? 18-game season could be around the corner.
Hey, you know what? Think about this. 18 games, okay? So now all of us football fans get what we earn for the most, more games. However, what we don't get is any more preseason games. However, that's a hell of a trade-off, because if we go 18 games, that's going to put us into President's Day weekend, which means the majority of us will already have Monday off after the Super Bowl.
Nice.
Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Because that's where this is going to put us. This is going to run us right up there against NASCAR's opening day for the Daytona 500. It's almost as if you're going to watch the Daytona 500. You're going to have 2 Super Bowls, JT, in the same day for all you NASCAR lovers out there. You're going to have the NASCAR race, followed right up by the Super Bowl, and you get the next day off. See, look, you're speechless. You don't even know what to think.
That sounds fantastic.
NASCAR thing, huh?
I'm just thinking this 18 game, and then how's that going to transform into wild card playoffs and things like that? What are you going to do? You going to add another week?
It's definitely gonna change. And DJ, you're absolutely right. NASCAR did die when number 3 left the circuit. But at the end of the day, though, I mean, I don't know, GT. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to affect it all. If we're going to add another playoff game, because you're almost going to have to. This is what I'm afraid of. Is this is almost going to become like hockey and basketball, to where teams that have no business being in the playoffs now make the playoffs just by default. All for the money.
All
Look
about
at
the
you,
money.
JT. Show
me the
me the
money.
money.
Show me the money. There
And
it
Chris,
is.
you're right. Stage racing is the worst thing that ever happened in NASCAR. It's horrible. JT, I'll have to tell you about that later because I know you know nothing
Okay.
about stage racing.
No, I don't. But yeah, hey, shout out Chris. Hey, got Ben in the house too. Benjamin, what's going on, brother? Go Steelers. Let's go. Hey, we're ready to go, man. We're loaded up with players. I'm excited to talk about them. How about you guys?
Well, I am too. So, JT, should we break into them? Should we
Yeah.
just go just one at a time?
Bam.
And even give our listeners a little chance to kind of chime in a little bit. First of all, I know that I was kind of non-committal on who I was wanting for that first round, because in all reality, this year, I really, truly felt that we were sitting in a prime position for at least 5 players to fall to us. And no matter who it was that fell to us, I was not going to complain. I was going to be happy. And at the end of the day, we picked up Troy. Here's another name for me to jack up. Are you ready?
No,
JT?
but you're not going to. You are not going to, because I know you know this.
No,
So
I
just
don't.
hammer it. Nail it.
Fatunanuna. Fatananana. Fatuna. The tuning master?
Fautanu.
Fautanu. That's what I said the
Fautanu.
first time, JT, was
That's right.
Fautanu.
You nailed. I said you nailed it, and you did.
Exactly.
Round one, offensive tackle. I got to say that I was picking tackle, or close second, center. I didn't think they would pick a center first round, but had my eye on a guy. So yeah, I was happy with that. Kind of surprised Mims went ahead. What did you think on that?
Look, when he went ahead, I got ecstatic. I got giddy. I'm like, thank goodness, because I was a little afraid we was going to pick him. And even though I think that he's going to turn out to be an okay player, I really do. I didn't like the fact that he didn't have enough game tape on him. And, could he move the way he could? Where Troy, you had the game tape on him. What I like about him is long arms. What I'm kind of curious about, do they slide him in at left tackle, or do we make the mistake in trying to force him to play right tackle and we move Broderick Jones back over to left tackle? Because I can't help but think of Kevin Dotson, who is now a super stud out in LA, because they put him in the position he was born to play.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good question. I mean, do you keep Broderick Jones where he is, and then bring the rookie in, our first round rookie, who is probably going to be starting if camp goes well, in his natural position, considering Jones did pretty good, for his rookie year, and got better as the season wore on.
And quite honestly, he did a great job at right tackle. He really did. I just don't know if Troy can do as good as Broderick did. But I guess we're going to find out in camp. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, that's the point. Hey, James, thanks for jumping on, man. Good to see you. He's going for put him in at right tackle, and then Jones to his natural position at left.
And again, when you look at it on paper, It makes the most sense. However, I don't think that everybody is as plug as play as what we like to think when we call them the Swiss Army knife and versatility. And
Mm.
again, I go back to Kevin Dotson. Can you imagine right now if we would have kept Kevin Dotson instead of Jeff Daniels with picking up Troy right now and Broderick? We got a stud of an offensive line.
Yeah.
And we even talked about this. How did Dotson go from being a road grader to being for shit in our eyes to being a super stud again in LA?
It's hard to say. It's just like a different place, different position, different opportunity. It's all what you make in it, and how you make the best out of it, man. So, it happens. It happens. It's as a business, and unfortunately, players you'd like to keep, you can't always. You got to make a financial decision, but sometimes they work out. Steelers notoriously over the years, if we look back as far as we've been looking at this team, though, too many have we lost that really blossomed or were had pro bowl or even you know uh, members of the hall. I mean, for the most part, the Steelers, the players they let go, most of them were just kind of at the end of their career or never did really that much. There were a few along the way. I thought Steelers let go early, Chad Brown being one of them. But other than that, I thought they've done pretty good.
And you're right. For the most part, they don't go off and do very well. But I think right now, man, we could also sit here and say, Pat Meyer, you got your work cut out for you. And can you, in your second year, really turn this offensive line into something great?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, when you combine pick number 1 along with pick number 2, which we had a straw, I knew the Steelers loved this guy at center. Zach Frazier fell right in our lap, and bwhammo, another perfect fit for the Steelers, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. What can't you like about this kid? What I'm ready to see, first of all, man, is this kid was a state champion wrestler. I mean, the kid's a mauler. I mean,
He is.
and he's like that little perfect bowling ball at 6'3", 313 pounds, man. I mean, he is going to be hard to move. And he's no dummy, man. I mean,
No,
this kid's got a 4.0 grade point average, man. I mean, so you got to like everything about the kid, including the fact that, you know what? He's a lunchbox kid, man.
absolutely.
He's
Absolutely.
married, which means he ain't got time to be messing around.
Yeah,
He's
no.
got a wife at home who expects a paycheck and his ass to be there to
Mhm.
take care of the little ones. I mean, all of us who are married, we understand that there's a difference from being a single guy and a married guy.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fact that he's grounded. I like the fact that he fell to us. And he is one guy who I'm not concerned about as far as the injury to him. Matter of fact, I like the fact that this kid was smart enough to know he was injured and he crawled off the field like a soldier, not to
That's right.
penalize his teammates.
His leg was broken.
Leg was broken. I mean, you didn't see Joe Theismann crawl off the field.
No. 3-point crawl. That's yeah, that's a prototypical Steeler center right there. I hope he has a great long career like the history of Steeler centers that we've had and been fortunate to have too. Hope this he becomes one of those. And I think by the looks of it, man, he's ready to start. A lot of people say week 1 starter.
There's no
I
doubt
agree,
about it.
James.
Here's the other thing that I want to see. Do we finally get back to pulling our centers and trapping our center?
Wasn't that fun to
haven't
watch?
we haven't seen that in some years now.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think Frazier can bring that back to the way we like. So I'm excited about this kid.
I thought we saw a little of that towards the end of the year.
I'm not sure if that was what we saw or if it was just him running scared.
Oh, yeah. No, Chris, he's on the road. The third musketeer is out on the road. So he's probably traveling back. He may still be hanging siding. Who knows?
And you didn't want to hear him whining anyways. You should have seen him throughout the draft. Oh my God, I can't believe they did this. I should read some of those text messages. We should throw him under the bus. What do you think, JT?
Excuse me. That would take too long.
You're probably
Oh yeah, I know. As I was watching, and by the way, hey, shout out to Bubba and his crew. We had a lot of fun. TA joined us from New York City. The Big Apple was jumping in. We had DJ jumping on from up in Titusville or somewhere out from fishing camp. We had people from all over during the draft show too. So shout out to Bubba and the Steelers Dynasty podcast out there. He did a great job hosting for us. And we had some great guests on there as well too. So that was a lot of fun going from pick A, number 1 to pick number 20. And then we wrapped it up after that. So a lot of fun, man. And then it continued round 3.
Before we go to our third round picks, and since we're already on the subject of offensive line and Pat Meyer having to go to work, we got to just jump right in there to the 4th pick, because I don't know if anybody's seen this pick coming. Going right back and picking up Mason McCormick. I mean, were you expecting him to go guard?
No. I was thinking corner.
And I was thinking defensive line. I figured at 4th, it was right there. But when they came back in, they grabbed a guard, especially that kid. I mean, 6'4", 309 pounds.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's a bruiser.
And he was part of the national championship team for South Dakota. I mean, okay, guys, I get it. It's the FCS, okay? But to be a champion, you still have to put in the work. And that group put in the work. They know what it means to be a winner. And to be able to go ahead and pick this guy up as just a project, a projection, a what if and a maybe. And he's a Swiss Army guy.
Yeah.
I really loved this pick.
So what side did he play?
He played both sides, but his final year, I believe he played on the right-hand side, JT.
Okay. All righty.
Now I could be wrong. Our listeners, please let me know if I am.
That'd be Daniel's side, so that makes sense.
But I'm pretty sure he played on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Even though he played on all of them, including a little bit of center. So I think it was excellent. Here's the other thing too.
I think they like these Swiss Army types. I can't think of the guy we used to have around for a little bit. I think he got cut last year, but these Swiss Army types. And that's why I thought maybe they were looking at that Duke kid, Graham Barton, because he, another versatile lineman there.
Right. He could go guard or center.
Right.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, really like to move on this McCormick kid. So when you look at what we did in the last 2 years for just this offensive line alone, especially knowing, let's face it, next year, what is it? Daniels is a free agent. Hurt Big is a free agent. And Samala Mula, I think, is a free agent. Or does Samula Mula have one more year? Did we get him for 3 and Daniels for 2? Or did I get those two mixed up?
I don't know. I haven't really heard his name mentioned as far as looking ahead and filling that position or backfilling it, with a backup.
Right. But at the end of the day, I think it was a good pick to go ahead and get him in there in round 4. But JT, I couldn't help but think of Tom Hanks and Wilson in the 3rd round. I was surprised that Anne and I forgot the other Hart sister's name. Anne and come
Nancy.
on, Nancy. I figured Anne and
Come
Nancy were going
on.
to come out and sing us a song.
That's it. Know your heart.
I'm surprised they weren't even in Pittsburgh for when the boys come into town.
Oh, DJ said Daniels is up next year.
Daniels is up next year. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
so
DJ.
Samalo's one more year.
Okay. There you go. So, yeah, I agree with James. I mean, we got to build the trenches, man. And I was so excited. Big step towards that, man.
Oh, absolutely. And let's face it, man, we said it the whole year. This was not going to be a sexy pick or a sexy draft. We needed to get stronger in the trenches.
Yeah, this was a lunchbox draft here.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But I will say, true to form, when they went in there and they got Roman Wilson, you got to kind of like this kid. Coming from Michigan, I'm not a big Michigan guy. The only thing that concerns,
wonder why. Why is that, TA?
well, there's a lot of reasons, but here's one thing. I can't help but when I think of Roman Wilson, all right, I think of the replacements in the kicker when he says he's wiry. He's a wiry. That's exactly what Roman Wilson is. He's wiry. He
is.
Yeah, he's a little bit on the thin side, a little on the skinny side, but the kid's got some hands, man. He's got some hands and he's got some speed.
And he's quick. Yeah.
He is quick.
He is quick. I mean, all right. So let me throw this out there. I mean, do you see it as a potential number 2 or you see him more a slot guy?
I see him more of a slot guy. I just, but even at slot guy, I've got to admit, I'm a little scared for him the first time over the middle. I mean, it's a good thing Patrick McQueen isn't on the Ravens anymore. He might be his last time over the middle. You still got Roquan Smith you got to worry about. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how he develops.
Well, and the Steelers might not be done yet filling that wide receiver room. Hard to say. But I do like the pick and I like the potential. He's wiry. There you go. I think you nailed that one, TA.
He's wiry.
He's wiry.
He's wiry.
Well, yeah. So we go wide receiver in the 3rd, and then of course, I think this is one I'm very excited about too. When we turn on defense here, that was 1, 2, 3, fourth pick. The second Wilson gets taken off the board. A linebacker. I really like these two. He was from North Carolina State, something like that.
The home of Bill Cowher.
Oh, interesting. Didn't know that.
Absolutely. And here's something that you probably didn't know. Did you know that Bill Cowher was his idol?
Really?
He looked up to Bill Cowher's play as linebacker and, followed in his footsteps more or less, and really likes everything the coach has done. So, yeah, another NC State with a little bit of ties to Pittsburgh.
That's interesting how this played out. We didn't mention this as far as Troy goes, but lifelong Steeler fan, and with a name like Troy and being a Samoan, who his favorite Steeler was, right?
Oh, Polamalu. He idolized him.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did
He
too.
he even wore his number up until they said, you can't wear that anymore. You're a big guy. You're on the line. You're not allowed. But yeah, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm excited. He's quick. Now, he also has something else in common with another Steeler.
Are we talking about MCL?
Yes. Interesting. He doesn't have one.
He doesn't have one. and the guy put out a 4.340. Man, I know.
Could he be the next fill in the blank?
Look, I tell you what, he's got a good opportunity. The knock on him is he very well could have been college's best NFL player this year. Knock on him, 6 years in college, spent the first 4 years basically injured, no MCL like we already talked about. And then, of course, the last 2 years he's been pretty healthy, fast. Can't forget that he did get in trouble, was arrested for underage drinking, fake ID, and probably TP'd somebody's property and got a personal property injury to it or whatever the scenario may be. But you know what? All that stuff was when you were a kid. And I get it,
Yeah.
you're looking for
Yeah.
character stuff, but this is another guy who's really been focused. And if he can stay healthy, this might have been the steal of the draft right here.
Yeah,
It
let's
really
just
might have
avoid
been.
that injury bug. That we dealt with enough of that shit last year. Let's
Yeah.
get these guys in, get them playing, get
Hopefully
them healthy.
hopefully the buck stops here. But I mean, when you look for what he had, I mean, he had 6 sacks, 3 interceptions last year. I mean, I, I'm really excited. Here's another thing. Did you realize that he's got another Pittsburgh tie?
No, what's that?
Really?
No.
Bryce Wilson, former picture of yours, Pittsburgh Pirates.
Ah, Zach Wilson,
No, Bryce Wilson.
Bryce Wilson.
Yeah. That's his older brother. You
Interesting.
didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty interesting, I thought.
Hey, DJ thinks best linebacker at the combine. He
Oh,
seems like a ball hawk, man. He's just like all, kind of
well,
almost a like a nickelback back there in many ways. So, and that's the guy we've been looking for, to be able to drop back and just has that instinctive move and has those angles to just be around the ball all the time.
well, here's something to think about, JT. We now possibly have 2 of those guys at starting inside linebacker. Because Patrick McQueen can cover as well, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're not looking that bad. And DJ, you're absolutely right. Because I don't know if you recall, but when we were doing the show the night of the combine, the little TA, I couldn't stop him from chirping in my ear during that podcast on how Payton Wilson was the man and that he just tore up the combine in the skills. And I had to keep telling him, look, man, it's just football in shorts.
Yeah,
Football in shorts. Let's see how it relates to on the football field.
Yeah. No, he's got a motor, though. He's got a motor, definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I even shared one of his highlight reels out there on the Steelers Room social medias out there. So we continued. We talked about McCormick. Any last thoughts on Wilson before we move on?
No, I just think that that's great that we got Wilson.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like that. I like that pick.
I kind of like I'm even picturing, I can just see, opening day now, there's going to be some Steeler fan there with a picture of a fence with the guy's, eyes. All you can see over it is just going to say Wilson.
Wilson.
You remember that TV show?
Yes.
Wilson.
Tool time.
We got
right?
Wilson.
Tool time.
Tool time.
That's it.
Can we get lucky and have the younger version of Pamela Anderson as our Steelerette at halftime? I don't think nobody wants to see that in today's age, but
she's Pamela Anderson. Yeah. Boy, that was blast from the past there, TA.
Hey, we're just trying to keep it real, throwing everything out there, JT.
That's right. We're still looking for our Steelers Realm Pamela Anderson sponsor or appearance.
There you go.
There you go. I know you're working hard on that, getting the next guest. I throw it out there too. So, ladies listening out there, hey, feel free to chime in anytime. We'd love to have you on, get your thoughts on it. You know, sometimes women who understand the football and the Steelers fans, they have an interesting outlook on a lot of things too. So, love to get your input.
Absolutely.
Wilson. Yeah, I don't forget Russell. Wilson. This is the Pittsburgh
W.
Wilsons.
That's the Pittsburgh Wilsons.
Pittsburgh Wilson. Oh man. All right. So what you think? Yeah. Hey, what's up, Kitch? How you doing, man? Good save, boys. Yeah. Uh-huh. Nice. Well, we thank DJ for that input. So what'd you think of Logan Lee?
You want to know the first person that came to my mind when we picked up Logan Lee?
Yes, I do.
Aaron Smith.
Wow. Now there's some big shoes to fill there.
That is some awful big shoes to fill. And I mean, and I don't want to do it to the kid, but in all honesty, when I seen that pick come through, I'm like, holy shit, Aaron Smith. Because if anybody has a chance of making it, it's this kid. He's got to put some weight on. There's no doubt about it. He's a little bit undersized, but I love his quickness. You know, he already knows how to wear the black and gold. That's half the battle. You know, so
yeah, I like the colors too. Yep, definitely
yep.
an Iowa Buckeye or Iowa Hawkeye, right?
Yep. So I just like the fact that he's 6'5", man, 281 pounds. I mean, he's under 5 when it comes to running. You know, he's got a hell of a motor. He's all downhill. I just think that he's a little underweight. I think, you know, until he learns how to get a little bit better balance, because at 6'5", you know, you're not squatty. You can't get that low to you know, get that stance. I'm afraid he might get pushed around a little bit, but if he can sneak between those guards and tackles, man, I think he's going to be okay. But
yeah, big arms, big swim move.
Correct. But if they get outside of him, ooh, that might be he might get lost in the wash. But you know what? It's no different than Loudermilk. And let's face it.
That's right.
We were all excited about Loudermilk, and
sure were.
And this is Loudermilk's make it or break it year. So let's face it, Loudermilk might find himself on the other side of the fence this year with Logan Lee as the new project.
Should be some interesting competition at camp. Looking forward to that. So, and then those aren't too far away. We'll get into some dates here. We'll look those back up and share. But yeah, rookie mini camps, OTAs, all around the corner. So, and then we'd been looking for, I thought might have been taken a little bit earlier, but defensive back Ryan Watts.
Because you cannot have too many Watts on a team.
There we go.
If you're not a Watt, you're a Wilson.
Yeah, you're either a Watt, a Wilson, or a Samoan.
Right. Other than that, you know, you better bring something to the table. You know, you talked earlier, JT, about somebody in the nickel and somebody to, you know, that hybrid inside linebacker. Now, I know this kid graded out as a cornerback, but when he played at Ohio State, you know, in his first 2 years, he was really that guy in the box. It wasn't until he went to Texas that they put him out there on an island, but he really did play better when he's in a box. And There was another guy that Freight Train got to pee with one time that we kept around for a long time, came out of Penn State. I kind of look at him as the same type of background as Marcus.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Again, going to be great to see a camp. There going to be a lot of eyes on OTAs and these guys, man. There's been a lot of, I don't know, this year seems like the lead up and all the hype leading up to it. Seems like each year it intensifies more and more. Of course, it's probably just social media and all the rumors and trying to keep up with all that good stuff that makes it so much fun when it comes to be. So definitely looking forward to training camp and getting down there to get our own eyes on it for a change. So yeah, Jeremiah, we'll be there. Definitely. We'll figure out a way. Even if it's just Friday night lights, we're going to try to at least make that, right, TA?
Well, I got no choice. I already got a hotel room. And if you ain't got a hotel room there, guys, I'd hurry up and suggest getting one, especially now after the draft, because, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of excitement there. No doubt.
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
doubt. And I'm sure they'll be doing that, selling tickets in advance. They don't cost anything. You just have to reserve your ticket in advance again, but more to come on that. So, yeah, well, I got an advantage there, TA. I'm like about 38, 40 minutes away. So I can scoot down Route 30 and be there in no time. So, yeah, we'll be down there, guys. So look for us. More to come on that, but certainly going to be fun. So, we wrapped up our draft here. I thought we overall, across the boards, I don't know what you saw too, but everybody, the post-draft ratings, all Steelers A+ or A+ or A. I saw them posted as the second best draft behind Chicago numerous times. So I'd have to agree with that.
Yeah, I think I did see one out there that gave us like a B-, and I'm like, really? A B-?
Which one dropped them to a B-?
Yeah, they're not worth mentioning, but the one who I will give a little credit to is the one who I love to pick on, which is old PFF.
Yeah,
They actually graded us out good. And when they did,
yeah.
I knew we drafted for shit. I really, the wind just came right out of my sails when I seen that, JT. I was like, shit. You sons of bitches.
No, but hey, Chris, what's the name of the band, man? Let's give him a plug. He said his friend's country band usually plays out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What's that? Is that Friday Night Lights, Chris? We'll wait and we'll get a plug in on it too.
Can we get backstage passes?
Wow, what do you expect us to? Got to get backstage passes. Heck, we'd have got you courtside at the Steelers game if you could have make it.
Hey, we look good courtside.
Yeah. Kitch thinks Chicago's draft was overrated. Caleb's going to be a bust. All right, here we go. It's Friday Night Lights. Yep, Saddle Up Band. Oh, man, there you go. All right, let us know where. We'll plug it. DJ agrees. Yeah, definitely. So, cool. Well, we'll plug that, and we'll have fun afterwards, TA. Maybe Absolutely. Not too much fun. You got to turn around and drive back, don't you?
I do, because I got to be at the Hall of Fame the very next day at noon.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Looks like a sunny lineup, too.
Yeah,
we'll get more on that coming up, too. But let's keep the show rolling there. Steelers weren't done. We knew there'd be a lot of player action, and there's probably a lot to come yet. But 2024 undrafted free agents. This name was mentioned earlier in our podcast. Beanie Bishop out of West Virginia, another hometown or local, we should say, local boy, cornerback, West Virginia.
Yeah, and they brought him in, and I mean, he's look. All these guys are just going to be camp backups, but you know what? There's one of them here that has that chance to make a name for himself, and it'll be interesting to see who it is.
All right. Well, they picked up running back Dejon Edwards out of Georgia. They sure like Dejon.
I'll tell you what, this kid here is. I think he's kind of like a little bit of a bruiser, man.
Nice. We like bruisers.
But he's an underweight bruiser. I mean, he comes in at 5'10", 240 pounds. Ran a 40 and 4.65. So there's nothing there, kind of off the charts. But he's a bruiser. He
They remind you of any other running backs in the AFC North.
Yeah, kind of like all of them, I guess, if you really want to get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'd be kind of interesting to see what happens with this kid. But the next one, this Plumlee, I really think that they brought this kid in just to play Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, he played for the University of Central Florida. He's only 6'0", 200 pounds soaking wet. But basically, he played receiver and quarterback in college. So I think what they're kind of looking at is as a scout quarterback. You need that guy for certain teams to be able to run around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Uh-huh.
I think this is the kid right here.
DJ's and Splash.
It could be. And you know what? It might even be a simple fact that you might even actually, see him catch a ball or two coming out of the backfield.
There you go. Excitement. And two more linebackers, Julius Welskoff, Charlotte, Jacoby Windman, Michigan State linebacker.
Michigan State. Yeah.
Hey, maybe Jeremiah's related.
You think?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You got blood out there, Jeremiah?
Yeah, I don't think he's. Yeah, not these two guys. I think again, these guys are just kind of camp fodder.
Yeah.
And if anybody has a chance to make it, I don't know. Windman might have an opportunity because as a Trojan, oh, I'm sorry, Spartan. He was a Spartan, JT. How dare I get confused with a Spartan and a Trojan?
Being a Ohio State guy, yeah. Sure there's. I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's all right. So cool. Well, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. No new breaking news. No, Jeremiah, no relations from there. All right, brother. No worries. So looking forward to what this week brings. Anything up our sleeves, do you think, TA, before we wrap it up?
No, I think they're just going to have to tune in and find out, what the latest and greatest is for gossip for the Steelers. It wouldn't even surprise me if somebody becomes a running mate for one of the presidents before the end of spring training or
Mason
training
Rudolph.
camp.
Maybe it's Mason Rudolph.
It very well could be.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe it's that other quarterback that left and went out east. Isn't one of the presidents could be near a hometown boy over there, half a state away?
It is very, very possible.
All right. Well, that means we're getting into politics now. So, last comment coming in from Kitch. Never underestimate the Steelers picking up guys that played for a Michigan program. Love Bell, AB. Oh man, yeah, what a shame.
And do we need to say more?
No, no need to for that. So, TA, why don't you take us on out of here? We got plenty to talk about next week, Thursday night. Tune in every Thursday night right around 9, depending on who's running where. So take us on out, brother.
Steelers Nation, thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your comments. Be sure to like us. And most importantly, we like you. Enjoy
Right.
your evening.
Like us even though you don't or might not. But thank you. Steeler Nation, careful in the hot tub. Catch you next week. We are out of here.
Check back next week into the Steelers realm.